Hey, what's up guys? Doing some more work to this 2012 Chevy Impala 3.6 liter. Today I'm going to show you how to do a coolant drain and refill. First thing you want to do is go ahead and pop your hood. Next you want to go ahead and find your release tab right here. You're going to push that towards the driver's side and then go ahead and lift up on your hood. So then come over here to the driver's side, go ahead and locate your coolant reservoir here. Now I went ahead and just cleaned this reservoir up on the top here because you can see everything was pretty dirty, just so you guys can read it. But if you take a look here, you can see that you got this arrow right here, and that's going to be your cold fill. You can see right there your cold fill line. So you see this one is actually perfect here. Now this car has right around 92 or 93,000 miles, I believe. It's a 2012, and of course it's 2024 right now. So this coolant's definitely overdue, needs to be changed out here. And so what we're going to do is go ahead and just pull off the coolant reservoir cap here. And you want to make sure your vehicle is cool and not hot. So this isn't under any pressure or anything. It's better to just let it sit overnight. So go ahead and crawl underneath the passenger side of the vehicle here. And I'm going to be using this drain pan here to collect all the old coolant. You can get this off Amazon. I'll put a link in the description for it. But as you can see, it clears the car without having to jack it up. And we want to set this underneath this portion right here. So if you see that right there, that's where the old coolant's going to leak out of from the drain up top there. So you want to make sure you go ahead and just set that drain pan underneath there. So about like that. That'll collect all the old coolant. So now with that drain pan under there, we can go ahead and start opening up the drain petcock here. So if you take a look on the radiator down there, you got that little white drain plug there. That's what we need to go ahead and start unscrewing, and then it'll start leaking out of that hole into the drain pan down there. So now we'll go ahead and open it up. What you can do is go ahead and just get your hand through here kind of by the alternator, and then just go ahead and start twisting this outward. And it should start draining out of there. So kind of like that, you can hear it draining. You don't have to pull it out all the way. And then just double check to make sure it's going inside your pan there. So that looks good. We'll go ahead and let this drain. So as you can see, that's pretty much done draining. It's down to just a little drip here. Now I did let this sit for probably a good hour and a half or so. Went ahead and did some other errands. It just takes a while to drain out at that slow rate. You can pull the plug all the way out if you want. That'll drain it faster, but it does make a little bit more of a mess. I prefer just to do it this way and just give it a little time to drain out of there. So then just come back up top here. We'll go ahead and tighten up the drain plug there. So just go ahead and tighten that up until it stops dripping there. And just get that snug with your fingers. So next, let's go ahead and take a look at our old coolant here. We'll measure how much came out, and we'll use that kind of as a reference as we go to start filling this. So if you notice on this drain pan, it measures it in quarts. So you got 20 quarts, 15, 10, and then 5. So if I tilt this back here, you can see there's the 5 quart mark right there. So I'm going to call this about 5 to 5.5 quarts is what we drained out of it. And the total coolant for this system, I believe, is right around 9 quarts. So that's going to leave you with 3 to 4 quarts still in the engine, which is totally fine. The only way of getting that out is if you pull your thermostat, all your hoses, and then also the engine block plugs as well. So now let's take a look at the coolant I'm going to be refilling it with. So I've had this stuff just sitting in the garage here, haven't used it yet, it's brand new. But this is going to be the Napa Orange. So you want to make sure it's for GM cars, and you want to make sure it's the dex-cool stuff. This is going to be the concentrate, gallon size, so I do need to mix this with some distilled water. I'm going to do the 50-50 mix on this car. Now you can buy these jugs that's already pre-mixed with water. They'll be a couple bucks less than the concentrate. I prefer to use the concentrate just because you're paying a lot more just for water pretty much on the pre-mixed stuff. So I'll put some links in the description there for some of the dex-cool on Amazon, the pre-mixed and the concentrate, so check those out. And then the way I'm going to mix this is I got this as well. You can get these off Amazon. I'll put a link in the description for it. But this comes on super handy because you can mix your coolant, and then it also has a spout for pouring it into the reservoir there. So what I'm going to do, since this is concentrate, I'm going to go up to the 2 quart mark here with concentrate, and then I'll go up to the 4 quart mark here with some distilled water. So we'll mix that 50-50. So I'll start out with the distilled water here. Like I said, I'll go up to the 2-quart mark there, just to make sure we get this pre-mixed equally. If you wanted to, you could also just add the coolant from the jug there. You can go ahead and start filling this into the reservoir there. Just use half of this, and then you can use half of the distilled water as well. I just find it easier since this has the chart on here, plus the little spout for filling. So now I'll go ahead and take this up to the 4-quart mark here. So about right there, that's going to be 4 quarts. So that gives us our 50-50 mix. And then if you wanted to, since that's already mixed, you can take this distilled water and fill that in here. And that'll give us another 4 quarts of pre-mixed dex-cool. So just like that. So now I'll go ahead and start filling this. Again, we're going to go up to the cold fill line. If we go up above that a little bit, that's totally fine, because we're going to start this and then we'll let the thermostats open up and that coolant's going to start flowing through anyways. So let's go ahead and start filling here. Just try not to make a mess here. So you can see that kind of getting above the cold fill line. Like I said, that's totally fine. We do need to burp the air out of this. So there is no bleeder valve on these cars. So what you can do is just go ahead and squeeze your radiator hoses right here. So if you squeeze that, you can see that helps to try to get some of the air out. And then you can also squeeze your upper radiator hose right here as well. Go into your thermostat. So just give that some nice few squeezes here. And you can see that's dropped our level back below the cold fill mark there again. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up some more. Set my camera down here. And you can squeeze it as you're filling if you want to. And we know it's probably going to take right around 5 quarts, just because when we before we started this job, we knew it was exactly right at the cold fill line there. So I'm just going to go ahead and add all of this 4 quarts here. Again, I'll go ahead and squeeze these hoses. See if we can get that level to drop a little bit, get some of that air out of the system. So you can see right now we are actually perfect right at the cold fill line. But like I said, once that thermostat opens up, it's going to start flowing into the system and it's probably going to get a little bit lower. So I'm just going to give this a few more minutes, keep squeezing these hoses here, and then we'll add a little more. Because you can see it dropping from the cold fill line. Okay, so I gave that a few minutes and you can see the level actually drop some more. So now I'm just going to take a little funnel here and then I'll start pouring in some of this pre-mixed stuff that we just did out of the jug here. And I'm going to take that to the cold fill line there. Okay, so about right there. Go ahead and take this out. And looks like it's still dropping a little bit there. So I'll give this a few minutes and then we'll top it off some more. Go ahead and continue filling here. Give that a few more minutes, see if it goes down anymore. So you can see that still dropped a little bit there. So I'll go ahead and just fill it up some more here, and then we'll probably call that good, because that's going to be right around 5 quarts or so. So we'll go right there. Go ahead and get your funnel out of here. Go ahead and replace your reservoir cap here. Make sure that's all the way tight. So now we'll go ahead and start this. And you can see our temperature there is cold. So let's go ahead and let this run. We'll also go ahead and turn on the heater here. That way we can get it flowing through the heater core. We'll go ahead and let this run for a little bit here, see if we can get it up to temp. And then with it running, just take a look underneath here, make sure you're not leaking any coolant. And that all looks good. All right guys, so I went ahead and just took it on a little bit of a drive just to make sure that the thermostat opened up. You can see our temperature gauge there. We're at a normal operating temperature. And then we do have hot air coming out of the vents here. So that means it's flowing through the heater core. So I'll go ahead and shut that off. And then we can go ahead and shut the engine off here. So then just come back underneath your hood here, and then we'll go ahead and check our level. Also just check to make sure these hoses are hot, which they are. So that means our thermostat did open up and it started flowing through the system here. So then if you take a look here, you can see we're right at the cold fill line there. Since this is hot and coolant does expand with heat, we're gonna let this sit overnight, and then we'll go ahead and check our level in the morning. Most likely that'll drop just a little bit there, because once that coolant cools down, it'll most likely drop a little bit there. And then I'll just go ahead and top that off in the morning. All right, so that's gonna wrap up the video. Again, this was a 2012 Chevy Impala with a 3.6 liter. Went ahead and drained the cooling system and refilled it. Really simple job to do on these cars. You don't even have to jack it up or anything. And like I said earlier, I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit overnight. I'll go ahead and check the coolant level in the morning and then add some if I need to. So hopefully this video helps you out. If it does, hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. I got a bunch on this car alone, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.